I know what you're going to do. You're going to ruin the game before it's even started. If you sign in the same window, Mata and Fellaini, what is your ideology? Oh, Wout Weghorst. Didn't he get a big...
Oh, yeah, as opposed to the other fella, Chris Weghorst.
What's happening, everyone, and welcome to Tier Talk. My dear friend Adam McKola and I have teamed up with Sports Direct, and we are going to deliver the best tier system that you have ever seen. We're going to be ranking the best transfer deadline day signings that has ever existed, and we will be ranking them from world class all the way down to get in the bin. Adam, I have to ask you a favour before we get into this one. You must remove all of your bias, all of your tribalism, and we have to deliver the truth.
Every time we do Tier Talk, you tell me I need to remove my bias. It's not going to happen. Okay. You've known me for a long time now. So
I'm going to do... Okay, well, I will be the voice of sanity here then. I will do my best, and you can just...
Rory likes to sit on this perch and pretend he's sane, and he's not biased.
You can come
You're very biased.
Your rogue shouts. Okay.
Right. Let's go. Remember, guys, get your thoughts in the comments as well. Let us know what you think and where these players should be in this list.
First up is the one and only Jarrod Bowen.
Ooh.
I mean, in terms of his form last season, I think he was the best player in the league last season, in my opinion, for how much he delivered compared to what I thought he would do.
Yeah.
No player had a better season.
Most surprising player.
Most surprising. I mean, the fact that he was correctly chosen for England, it was a meritocracy. He deserves to play for England. I definitely didn't see that coming at the beginning of the season.
He was someone that was linked with like Liverpool and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And there was news Mane was going to leave, and Salah was going to leave. So he's being linked with some big clubs. He's still at West Ham, playing in Europe. He's doing it in Europe as well, in the Europa League. I think he deserves a lot of credit for what he's doing. But what we don't know, Rory, is who else is in this list.
Yeah.
So we have to judge it accordingly. So could we say, based on what we've seen so far, and it's been a short time, this is solid mid-table.
I think, do you know
what?
And
then
we'll
readjust if we have to.
I like what you've done. Basically, let's find out the level. Yeah. Let's find out the mean level of the players on this.
But that's not a bad signing, and it's not the greatest signing.
Yeah,
it's a good sign.
It hasn't changed the world, but it has sort of changed West Ham.
Yeah.
And therefore, a solid mid-table is a good place to start.
I think you'd be happy with that as well.
Yeah, I think so as well. Absolutely.
Who's next?
Have a look.
Let's do the reveal. Your man. Now.
Oh God.
Now, if you've seen the tier talk for the greatest Premier League strikers of all time, me and Rory had a great discussion on that. I won, as you do.
you weren't competing with me. We weren't in competition with one another. The fact that you think it was, the fact that you think you won.
We were in competition, and I won. Rory, Luis Suarez though was a great signing from Ajax at a time when they really needed him.
Oh, are you gonna? I know what you're gonna do here.
What?
I know what you're going to do. You're going to ruin the game before it's even started. I know what you're going to do.
Right,
where he belongs...
I won't ruin the game.
No,
I won't.
Where are you putting him on this? Where do you think he belongs?
As a transfer, they bought him for how much and sold him for like double.
Well, do you remember, they bought him with the money that they got for Torres, him and Carroll. And I think at the time, everybody thought Carroll was the more astute signing. Like, Carroll seemed to be like the player that they were going to build a team around, and then they got this other geezer from Ajax who was going to be all right.
We've cut Carroll out.
Yeah. That's definitely that red there is definitely Andy Carroll's arm that has been chopped off of this, as if it never happened.
It's like when we signed Ronaldo, we signed Cleberson at the same time. We do the same thing.
Do you know,
on my
nan's wall, like my mum and dad got divorced. On my nan's wall, there's a picture of my nan and my mum on her wedding day, and they've cut my dad out. They've done the same thing here.
That is basically the same thing.
Where do you think he deserves to go on here?
It's close to perfection or world class as a signing, isn't it?
I agree.
Again, because we don't know who's here, it's like, is Thierry Henry? Well, he wasn't a deadline day signing, but you know what I mean?
Mate, this is a world class signing.
Yeah.
No player has landed at a club and had that level of impact.
Oh, God. There's a video of me in a United shirt putting Suarez in the top of the list.
I think, no, you've done the right thing. Oh,
God. Who did you just see? El Nino.
That's not El Nino.
That isn't El Nino. That was an imposter. That was a fraud. Like, even his hair doesn't look right. El Nino was blonde. This fella's got like some highlights.
Funny little trim there.
It's brunette with highlights. What's going on?
I mean, the least deserving of our critique with regards to Torres here is his Barnet. We could talk about the performances. We could talk about how long he took to open his account.
50 million, was
we
it?
could talk about the money. We could talk about the expectation. I think in terms of what I expect... You know how when we were talking about Bowen, we were like, well, what we expected compared to what we got was very different. Mate, this moment, you see what's happening here? This moment was symbolic. This changed everything. Chelsea taking Liverpool's best player. That didn't happen, ever.
Because you tried to get Jarrod, that never happened.
Yeah,
this
was the moment. This was like Chelsea are never going to look back. Chelsea are going to go on to ridiculous amount of titles, ridiculous amount of European Cups. And, I mean, there is some truth in what I just said, but it kind of happened in spite of Torres rather than because of Torres.
Part of it, winning the European Cup.
I mean, he was a part of it, but not to the level that wouldn't have
And not
happened.
to the standards we imagined.
No.
Like, we thought if you were going to win the Champions League with Torres, he'd have been top goal scorer, Ballon d'Or winner, all those kind of things.
Mate, I remember going to Anfield when he was still playing for Liverpool, just before we signed him, the December before we signed him. And he scored 2 goals right in front of where we were sitting, right in front of the away end. And you know, one of them, we sort of cut in, curled it round Czech. You're just like, mate, what are you doing? How have you done that? Like, you've managed to execute something that nobody else on the pitch would have been even able to imagine. And now he belongs in the bin.
Yeah,
There is.
that's fair.
I hate.
If that was a picture of him in a Liverpool shirt getting signed,
potentially world class, yeah.
but the Chelsea move was a failure.
Oh, terrible.
A failure.
And like I say, the drop off from what we hoped it would be, from what we dreamed it would be, what it was supposed to signify. It's in the bin. It's in the bottom of the bin. It's in rooting around for it.
He is the garbage juice of that bin.
Yeah.
Oh,
hang on a minute.
I
No,
mean,
he's
wait,
not.
we might
No,
have
he's
found-
not.
we might
I think we're
have
going to have to elevate him.
Launch this across the room.
I think. Hang on a minute. We're going to have to change everything because we have found Marouane Fellaini as a deadline day signing. Because Adam, you've got to talk about this.
Can I tell you the worst thing?
There was
about
something
signing?
about the money.
We could have signed him.
Yeah.
A release clause was there up to a certain date in June where he was available for, like, let's say 22.5 million or 25 million.
You bought him 48 hours
or something.
after.
Yeah, we waited for that deadline to pass and then offered them 30 million. Something stupid. It was a joke. We signed him and Mata, like, were Moyes' first 2 signings. Like, what
What were they
style
thinking
of
of
football
doing?
are you thinking of there? And then
Yeah.
also, we were spoken about Toni Kroos and Thiago Alcantara and all these different midfielders. And then this guy rocks up on the final day of the transfer.
Do you know what? That's a really funny sort of way to look at it. If you sign in the same window, Mata and Fellaini, what is your ideology? Like, what are you hoping happens on the pitch there? Like, what? Basically, Mata's going to not link up with him. We know that, and he's not going to be able to do the defensive cover that is necessary to allow Mata to flourish.
Funny thing about that is, in the cup final, Mata and Fellaini connected to get us
Did
back
they
in
really?
the game. So it's weird.
This is in the
He
bin,
did win
right?
a trophy, but in the bin. Let's be real.
I'll do
Like,
it.
like,
I'll do
everything
it.
about
I'll do it
that
with
transfer
pleasure.
was wrong, and it's still to this day. Yeah, it's deadline day. We might do the same kind of thing because we haven't learned from those mistakes. Look how happy Moyes is.
History massively repeats itself, doesn't it?
Look how happy he is.
Yeah, Moyes is so is Torres. Little do you know, my friend. You don't know what's waiting around the corner. Yeah, horrible.
Oh God! There's the other half to that picture. We found it, lads. There we go. Happy days. We finally put the picture back together.
Yeah,
This is the part that's at your dad's house, right?
Yeah. There we have it. We have Andy Carroll and King Kenny.
We don't need to discuss this, do we?
No, we don't.
Let's not.
No, we don't.
The funny thing about that transfer was the way it was negotiated, if I remember correctly, was Liverpool went to Newcastle. We'll give you 15 million less of whatever we get of Torres.
Is that what they said?
So then they got 50 million, we're like, all right, 35 million. So if you gave them 100 million,
They would have
given
ended up
85
paying,
million.
Gosh, that's appalling, isn't it?
I might have made that up, but
That kind of transfer, though, it was such a bad era for Liverpool, wasn't it? Like, it's so representative of, like, a terrible Liverpool team. Yeah, no good. Andy Carroll's definitely there. We are now moving on. So, there's a lot of Manchester United contributions here. This is Edinson Cavani.
Give it to Eddie Cavani.
Where do you think this ranks?
For chance, number 1, world class. I I hated him towards the end, you know.
He didn't really want to play for you,
Couldn't be
did
bothered
he?
to turn up
wasn't
anymore.
professional.
There's always pictures of him like drinking that, you know, that South American coffee they drink.
Yeah, the
like,
tea.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Like, there's always like pictures of that. Yeah. Him taking his dogs for walks, but he was never really
got an issue
bothered.
Got an issue?
No, but
You got an issue with dog walking?
No, but like I've got an issue when you're taking days off from training.
You've got an issue with tea and dog walking. Where does Cavani rank on here?
He should have been great. I wouldn't say it was totally disastrous because it was free ultimately.
Is he relegation form?
Possibly, because he did do some good things for us. Right? I remember the performance at Spurs and kind of things like that. He kind of helped us get to a position that we needed to. But then the last bit, I'd say relegation form.
Relegation form. Done. Who's up next?
Oh, God.
Oh, is it another Manchester United player?
No, it's not. He was linked with Man United. Sir Alex Ferguson told Jose Mourinho to sign this guy. Dele Alli. Dele Alli.
Dele Alli to Everton. Do you know, watching him play the other day, on the opening day of the season, I was watching him play, obviously, because Chelsea played Everton. And when he came on, it was like there was a glitch. Like, do you remember when Dele Alli was in his pomp? It was all kind of done on impulse. He was a very instinctive footballer and was very difficult to predict, and he could execute things that others couldn't imagine. And he had that knack of arriving late into the box and feeding off kind of the scraps that Harry Kane didn't want. He had a brilliant knack of doing it. And when Everton signed him, I just thought, this is so optimistic, because that player that we just described there, we haven't seen for the best part of 4 years. We can't put Dele Alli. We can't put Dele Alli and the potential that Dele Alli has alongside Andy Carroll at Liverpool. We can't. I think he has to be relegation. He's definitely relegation form or getting in the bin. But
yes, and you know why? Because he could be close to the bin because it's still happening.
Yes,
yeah?
But he's not in the bin yet.
Yeah. He's very close though.
Deal.
He's teetering on the edge of the bin.
Yeah, he needs to...
But I feel like that's bad on Fellaini, because Fellaini, he used to score some crucial goals.
No.
I celebrated on the pitch with him at Selhurst Park, mate. Top 4. Champions League he got us. Oh my God.
See, this is a good signing.
It was a good signing. Was it a deadline?
Aubameyang. Obama what?
Remember when they were just going on like they won the treble that day? It was a good signing.
He was a brilliant signing for Arsenal. Where are you going to rank? Like
he won a few cups. Based on these, it's top 3 tiers.
Yeah, agreed. He was...
Well, it's not the top tier.
He won Arsenal the cup.
A few cups, isn't it? 2.
But what I mean is he literally single-handedly won
the
cup.
Yeah.
When they beat Chelsea in 19, Chelsea got 1-0 up Pulisic. We then got Aubameyang. Like,
he also had a period where he was one of the best strikers in the league.
Definitely. His contribution is big.
But he did leave.
If I said to you, the best signing that Arsenal have made in recent years, I think Aubameyang is one of them.
Close to perfection?
Yeah, okay.
It feels like he should be in a tier in between this.
No, but if you look at Jarrod Bowen's contribution to West Ham, Aubameyang is etched into the history of Arsenal. He's won them a cup. Maybe I just value
Maybe if Aubameyang left in better circumstances.
Yeah, no, it went sour. Yeah. I think Arsenal fans will think I've put him too high, because Arsenal fans, a lot of them at least, aren't too fond of him.
But then he won a cup, and most, none of these players on this list. Well, Torres did. Ooh,
these are the best.
Carlos Tevez and Mascherano. Kept them up,
and then do you know what I always think's really funny about Javier Mascherano? Do you remember when he was playing for West Ham? And there was a time when West Ham were genuinely putting him on the bench to play Mark Noble. Mascherano sitting on the bench just looking at Mark Noble.
At the start.
What, Gaffer? Seriously, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Why aren't I starting this game? Yeah, he's looking. He's got Anton Ferdinand out there. He's looking at the central midfield.
He's on the bench sat next to Marlon Airwood.
Are you joking? Are you genuinely telling me that I can't get a game in this West Ham team?
You don't understand the language, mate. Yeah, but I
don't need to. Also, I think I understand it as well as Mark Noble.
I remember on the last day of the season, he came to Old Trafford. We were champions and scored.
Yes, kept them up.
Yeah, 1-0. I think just a world-class window, especially for West Ham.
They're two of the best players. They're two of the best players who've ever played for West Ham.
Yeah, and especially when you think of what he did in the Premier League after United and City.
And Mascherano.
And
Think about the player that he went on to be.
Barcelona.
The player he went on to be, yeah. Okay, the final one.
Yes. You don't recognise him. That's how bad of a signing it was. Weghorst.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah.
I thought it was Teddy Sheringham.
I mean,
Did Teddy Sheringham go Burnley?
that's how bad it is. They didn't even take great photos of him.
No.
They just thought, you know what, let's just take it on this old throwaway camera.
No, he's of that.
There's only like 82 tons in Burnley.
I can't say that I have too strong a feeling on this one way or the other.
No, but he came to Burnley with a huge price tag
Oh,
for Burnley.
Wout Weghorst. Didn't he? Yeah, the big.
Oh, yeah, as opposed to
Wout.
the other fella, Chris Weghorst.
Yeah, Wout Weghorst. I think he scored though quite early.
Yeah, but come on, man. He should have kept them up.
Yeah, he should have kept
And
them
he
up,
didn't keep them up. He could have kept them up by scoring like 2 goals or something.
Yeah.
Let's just put him in the bin.
Put him in the bin.
I mean, put Burnley in the bin. Are we allowed to say that?
Probably not.
Yeah, let's put Burnley.
But there we have it.
I'm still unsure about Dele Alli, you know.
What, you think we've been too kind?
I feel like he shouldn't be sat next to Cavani, but I don't know. Let us know in the comments below. Or Aubameyang as well, is that too?
Aubameyang's correct. I stand by Aubameyang. So that concludes our deadline day transfer signings tier talk episode. Thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please click subscribe. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. We'll see you all on the next episode.